trees that make up the forest at the land of Bainbridge Island's Quetzalcoatl family offer much more than bark, leaves, and roots. They offer a glimpse of time, history, and memories. They carry within their trunks the history of their planting, the story of generations of hard work, toil, and perseverance, and the memories of a family dedicated to preserving the forest for the sake of not only the future generations of the Quetzalcoatl family, but for the good and enjoyment of the community as well. Today, three Quetzalcoatl brothers, John, Dana, and Gary, meet to discuss the past, present, and future of the Quetzalcoatl family property and the reforestation efforts that go into preserving it.
Our grandparents, Joe and Sigrid Quetzalcoatl, bought this property around 1905 or so, or maybe even earlier. They were married in Port Madison in 1902, and this is where they raised their family, our father and his four siblings. The house over there was built just shortly before our father Ford was born in 1909, and it's still in the family. Our cousin lives there with her family, and they've done a wonderful job of maintaining the property and restoring the old farmhouse. Part of the tree farm approach was to plant all this in seedlings, and now 20 years later it's turning into a forest. Looked like a Christmas tree farm for a while, but I'm glad we've gotten past that stage.
Land sees many changes over time, and especially during a time when a society is racing at an ever-increasing speed towards advancement and development. An island like Bainbridge is faced with seeing its landscape changed over the decades by development, industry, expansion, and even efforts at its own preservation. In a time where many have begun to see the importance and need for the protection of the environment, the establishment of designated open space, and the aspiration to live in harmony with one's environment is clearly demonstrated in the efforts of the Quetzalcoatl family to preserve the forests and natural habitats on their land.
Returning here after a career working on the East Coast, returning here in the year 2000, I was eager to get back in touch with the land, and my wife and I spent a lot of time up here in the course of our first fall and winter, and we undertook some of the trimming of the lower branches, and I wanted to learn some of the things that people living here had been assimilating, the knowledge that Gary has had working on the land. I wanted to kind of do some catching up, and I do feel that there is a lot to be gained from just spending the time watching and learning and giving something to the land in terms of tending it.
For the general public, it's it's a good-sized parcel of land, and there's the larger parcels seem to be getting cut up and developed, and I think it's something that people probably take for granted a little bit. They'd probably miss it if it changed, if we started cutting the trees and putting in homes and all that, then there'd probably be some outcry.
Yeah, but, absolutely.
It does certainly, the larger pieces of property certainly add a lot as far as the rural character goes that people seem to want to maintain here.
There's a lot of interest in our kids' generation in maintaining this as a piece of family property that they can come back to, work on as they have time. And while we didn't want to set up anything that would lock them into doing forestry, I think it's very likely that they'll want to continue with the project that our father started here.
this conversation. We talked about the strength of Dad's commitment to the maintaining of a property that was kept together to be enjoyed by the family and by the broader public in a long distance future. We want to continue in our way with that rather visionary project, and see things developing as the island changes and some things remain constant.
The future is never certain, but the memory of the trees on the Quitslin family property also offer something beyond their noble history. They offer a hope for the future generations of Bainbridge Island, that the efforts to preserve the natural environment reveal the potential harmony of living in balance while still moving ahead toward a better and more modern world.